Hi, I'm Jared Jones, and it's April 5th, and 2015, and I am here to interview my grandma, Sandy Good. And so, we have a few questions. What is your full name and birthday?
I was born Sandra Lee Good, and I was born the 22nd of August, 1948.
Awesome. Did you ever have a nickname?
Robin.
And how did you get that name?
I was in the 4th grade, and my mother and us children were living in Point Reyes Station in Marin County. In my 4th grade classroom, there were 4 girls named Sandra. One was called Sandra, one was called Sandy. I don't remember what the third one was called. And Mr. Allen, our teacher, said, "Sandy Good, would you like to have a special nickname?" I said, "Yeah, Robin," because I love robin birds.
That's awesome. So where were you born? Where were you born?
Where was I born? I was born in Berkeley, Alameda County, California. My parents were living in Richmond, but the Richmond Hospital had not yet been built. So I was born in Herrick Memorial Hospital, which is located in the city of Berkeley.
Cool. So are there any funny stories that your family tells about you?
That they tell about me? Oh my. Funny, bordering on criminal. There's one, the night of my senior prom, when my date and I came back from the prom. We went to the after prom party, and after that, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, I had this bright idea of going back into my grandmother's kitchen and procuring a bottle of Ivory liquid dish detergent. And my friend Lawrence and I sat at the fountain of the condominium area where they lived in Loma Riviera in Point Loma, San Diego. And as we sat there visiting, I just very discreetly started pouring liquid into the fountain. And nothing happened. It was just all very nice and pleasant. The stars were out. It was a warm evening, of course, San Diego. And there was a limousine waiting. He had contracted for a limousine for the entire evening. And then Lawrence went home to Old Town, San Diego, where he lived. He was Mexican. And I went in the house and went to sleep. The next morning, about 3 hours later, I woke up and saw bubbles all over the fountain and the swimming pool nearby. And I knew right away I was in deep trouble. But I was dressed to go to work at the San Diego Marine Corps Depot. So I toddled on my way to the bus stop, went to work, came back, wondering what would be awaiting me. And there was a whole crew of cleaner-uppers and my grandma at the door.
Oh, no.
"Your grandfather wants to see you now." So I went upstairs to Grandpa's office, and he was seething and said there are some men from the community board who wish to speak to you. And I went to see these gentlemen in the clubhouse. They asked me if I knew anything about what had happened, and I confessed that I did it. My mother's brother Bill used to play saxophone, and my dad played guitar, banjo, mandolin, everything he could get his hands on. And very soon, my dad was a regular visitor at my mom's house. And my mother's brother Bill and Daddy would play music together, and very soon, Mom and Dad were going steady. Daddy had a letterman's jacket, or a sweater, in Sac High School colors, and whenever she decided she didn't want to wear it, she'd throw it at him, and then he would corner her with Uncle Bill, and then his brother Bill. I had two uncles named Bill, and with her and all her girlfriends, giggly and all that, and all the boys here, he'd take that sweater and throw it back at her and tell her to wear it. And this went on throughout all of high school. So they met in freshman English class, and it was green lights all the way through World War II.
Wow.
So, what are their full names?
My father is Robert Donald Good, and my mother is Mildred Edith O'Neill. Her nickname as a child is Peggy O'Neill, because when she was very young, a very popular song came out, Sweet Peggy O'Neill, an Irish song, and as she is Irish, and that's what they call her, was Peggy.
So that was Grandma Peggy.
Yeah, Grandma Peggy.
Grandma Peggy.
Daddy used to call her Peggy because she had very long, pretty legs. Firstborn child, Robert Rule Good. He has since changed his name to Demetrius Good. His maternal grandfather is Greek, by name of Demetrius, and so he uses his maternal grandfather's name as his first given name. And my brother Bobby, I call him Bobby still, he lives in on the West Coast in California. And then I'm the second born, but the first of my mother's children. Then Carl Mitchell. Mitchell is the name of my father's father. So Carl Mitchell Good was born in January 1950 in the Richmond Hospital while we still lived in Richmond. Patricia Ann was born in Hayward, Alameda County. And then Linda Darlene, who lived only 3 days, was also born in Hayward. Barbara Edith, also born in Hayward. And then we moved back to Sacramento, my parents' hometown, when the ironwork of all the bridges was done in Bay Area. Daddy worked for Kaiser Steel Corporation then. Daddy bought us a house in Sacramento to be closer to our grandparents and all. Then little Susan Jean was born in 1955 in Sacramento. And that's our family.
So can you go through it one more time from oldest to youngest?
So Robert is the eldest, or Demetrios is the eldest. Then I'm next in line, Sandra Lee, and it's spelled Lea. then Carl Mitchell, Patricia Ann, Linda Darlene, Barbara Edith, and Susan Jane.
And the ones who have already deceased are Carl and
Carl has passed away less than a year ago, and Linda lived only 3 days.
did your mom have any other miscarriages too?
There were 2 others that my mother had, stillborn. To my knowledge, they were not named. My mother had 8 children in 10 years.
What was your favorite memory of your mother?
There are so many. My earliest favorite memory of my mother was when, at Christmas time, I sat to her left on the sofa. I was 3 years old, and I had in some embroidery hoops some gingham check material, and my mother, with her left arm around me, was gently guiding my hands with the needle and thread and teaching me how to make cross stitches and stay within the checks lines. It was red and white gingham check, perhaps 1 inch size. I don't remember the size really. But my first favorite memory of my mother was her teaching me how to do cross stitching.
Is there a favorite memory of your father?
Oh, there are many of those too. That same Christmas, my father lifted me very high up, and I got to put the star on the top of the Christmas tree. And that, I'll never forget that moment. That was really special.
Yeah, well, I think that's all the questions we're going to have today.
All right.
And thank you so much.
Thank you for asking.
Want to say goodbye to the camera?
I love you, everybody. My family, my children, my grandchildren. I love you. I love you.